Hey guys, it's Kat and I am back today to play with some Nabla. So I'm going to do an almost full face of Nabla products. So back, I think it was in December now, Nabla sent me a massive box of makeup and there was like Christmas and January and stuff, and I decided that February was going to be the month that I use as much Nabla as possible, and then either at the start of March or end of Feb, probably as it's going. It's going to be in March. I'm going to do like a full review of Nabla. Like I might break it down and do like my top palettes, what I think about the palettes, because I've got, I think, all their eyeshadow palettes here, and I've used, I think, so far about 3 or 4 of them, and they've sent a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's just look. Lot of stuff. I've got brushes, I've got lip products, I've got brow products, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here, base products. So what I want to do is use as much of it as possible, as many times as possible, which is bad for my project pan, but it is what it is. And I want to sort of do a recap of the brand, what I think about it. So over the last couple of weeks, I have been sort of delving into these products. I've used the foundations, the concealers. I particularly, oh my God, guys, I can't even tell you how much I love their Dreamy Creamy lipsticks. They've got matte ones as well, which I haven't delved into yet, but the Dreamy Creamy ones, I had to fish a lot of these out of my handbag. They're so good. So I've been using products, but I haven't used everything. So I thought this is a good way to get all the products out, see all the products that I've got, and instead of slowly incorporating them into my makeup that I have been, I thought I'd do a full face using predominantly Nabla products, trying their brushes on camera, etc., and letting you guys sort of know what I think about it, and then continue to use it throughout the month, and give you a couple of recaps or like brand reviews when I've tried everything. So I think the only things that I'm missing for a full face is a bronzer. They do have bronzers in the range, I just don't have them. I don't have an eyeshadow primer or like a face primer. I don't really use face primers too much, so it's not a problem, but I will use their concealer as an eyeshadow primer, and I might use my Project Pan bronzer as the bronzer today, so this is the only non-Nabla thing that I'll be using. But yeah, let's just start by saying a massive thank you to Nabla for sending me this massive array of makeup. I wasn't expecting it. I really wanted to try Nabla, and they saw that on Beauty News we talked about them and we're like, we've never tried them, we want to try them. And then they sent us this mass amount of awesome stuff to play with. So I'm still sort of wrapping my head around all the stuff, which is, you know, fun to do. But yeah, I was not expecting this amount of stuff. So massive thank you to Nabla for providing this to me. Yeah, it was very, very generous. So I'm going to start with foundation, and I believe the closest matches for me is the 150 light and the 140 light. I'm not sure if you can tell, one is a little bit more pink toned and one is a little bit more yellow toned. So I might actually try them. I have tried these before, both of them, but I might just on camera do a color swatch and see if I need to mix them or if I can just use one. I really do like the bottles of these. I like these squeezy containers. I think they're really handy at getting just the smallest amount out, so you don't have to waste foundation, and they're really good because you can almost get all the product out. So if you, for example, we're right down to the bottom, you just hold it upside down and you can sort of drain it out. So I do think they're really handy foundation packaging, which a lot of brands don't do. So the more pink one is the one, the L50, and then we've got the L40. So let's just do some swatches. All right, they both look very, very yellow on my sort of red toned skin, but I do like to match to my neck. So I think actually the darker one's a bit better, but I'm going to try to mix them together and see how they go. Yeah, I might mix them. All right, the claims of this foundation, so I've just got some on the back of the hand. It's supposed to be a weightless and ultra blendable foundation, and it gives a luminous matte finish with an incredible soft focus effect with medium buildable coverage. So let's see if we can get that. I've just got some, and this brush is the Nabla Foundation Buffer Brush. Usually I go a sponge, but I thought, look, I'm going to try their brushes. It's not super liquidy, but it is it's quite wet. So it is easy to sort of spread across your face quite in a nice thin sort of manner, which I do like on a daily basis. So all of a sudden it is taking away a lot of my redness that I have, which is great. That's what I like foundation to do. It is quite lightweight. It's not, I'm surprised that it's not too streaky with this brush, because this brush it's quite a nice brush, but it is a pretty flexible brush. So it's definitely sort of like a semi kabuki style brush, but you can see that it's not super dense. So when you do put some pressure on it, it does sort of bend. So it's more of a flexible brush. And I find that those leave quite streaky marks, but this is quite nice to blend. All right, so that actually applied really easily. I do like the sort of soft, it's not matte as in it's got no shine, but once I do set it, I think it will take away the shine, but it does have that sort of diffused finish. It's a nice medium but semi-buildable coverage, so it's gotten rid of most of my redness. I think the color combo that I used matches my neck really well, so this is sort of the color combo that I would really like. Realistically, I do think I'd be able to get away with using either of these, but probably not as built up, because that's when you start noticing any discrepancies with like your neck or anything. But I think together, these worked really well for me, so yay. So I have tried the foundation a couple of times, but I do want to play with it a little bit more to really have an idea of what I think about it. So I think when I do my brand sort of overview review type thing, I'll tell you more about what I think about the foundation. But one thing that I have used a lot more is actually their concealer. Now this looks a lot like Tarte Shape Tape. I think it's just the packaging is probably from a similar sort of manufacturer, but this is a close-up concealer. So this is what it looks like. On the packaging, it says stay full smooth. So I believe it's supposed to be full coverage. It's supposed to stay in place and it's supposed to smooth out appearance. I don't know. But anyway, I do know what shade suits me really well, and it's a shade Light Peach. So I have used this quite a few times. It's got a massive doe foot applicator, so it reminds me a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape, but again, it's more the packaging design. The finish is not the same. The concealer is not the same. This does have a coconut scent, and if you know me, I don't like coconut scents, but luckily it doesn't linger. So I don't like applying it, especially if I apply it around my nose. I'm like, ugh, coconut scent, but it does go away. But this is a really good shade match for me. It's the shade, did I say it's the shade Light Peach? I think I did. So it's a really good color match. It's a nice sort of runny consistency. There has been times where I've tried this with some other foundations. I did a foundation wear test last week, and this, look, it worked all right, but it sort of chunked up a little bit. So I am still trying to figure out what foundations this works really well with, but overall so far it's been a not too bad concealer. My main concern has been the scent, but it is what it is. So I'm just using that same foundation brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more here because I didn't put as much there. I would probably use a sponge for this. We'll just see how the brush goes for now, but you can see it is a really nice amount of coverage. It's this color works for me really, really well. It is a fuller coverage, and it does blend really nicely into the foundation. I do find it blends really nicely into other foundations as well, but you know, like everything, sometimes there are things that don't work perfectly together, and this sort of, I don't think this worked well with my Australis foundation last week, but it has worked nicely with other foundations, so I'm still sort of giving it a crack, but I do like the effect of it. I'm going to take a tiny bit of that just on my eyes as well, just to use it as like a primer. So it really blanks out the lid because it is that fuller coverage concealer. All right, so you can see that that provided quite a lot of brightness and coverage as well. So this is slightly lighter than the base colors that I was using. So it is a brightening effect, which I don't mind. I do like a concealer that matches my skin perfectly as well. So I think I'd need to find a shade that's maybe a little bit darker than this to get that. But I do think this effect works really nicely. I'm going to set this with powder. All right, so I've got two powders. One I have used a couple times and one I haven't used yet. So this is the Close Up Baking and Setting Powder. So it is a loose powder, you can see there. It's like a translucent one. Because I have used that, I might actually want to try the pressed one, which is still in its fancy little box. I have to say, I really like the design of these. So this is the pressed powder. It's got this clear plastic and then this metal sort of plate in it, which I assume is a mirror. This is the close-up smoothing pressed powder, and the brush, which looks glorious. So it's got this sort of brushed gold design, which is really, really nice. This is the big powder brush. So I'm excited to try this. Let's give it a crack. There we go, that's a powder, and I'm just gonna set under my eyes first. And this is supposed to be a more mattifying powder, which powders, you know, that's what they often do. All right, that worked a treat. So you just pick up a small amount. It doesn't actually add much more coverage, but it does smooth and set the foundation and the concealer, and it does mattify it. So you can see that it just looks a lot smooth and set, which is really nice. It's what I like from a powder. All right, because I have blanked out my face, I don't have a Nabla bronzer. That's it, bronzer with me. So I'm gonna use my Project Pan one. This is the Mecca Max one, the Beyond Bronze Mega Bronzer. And I'm gonna use this Nabla Cheek Sharpener brush. Now I really like this shape. So it's this pointed, sort of really soft brush, which I think is really cool. Not gonna over bronze, but I just wanna put a little bit more color back into my face, just a little bit more definition sort of into my face. So we see there's a bit more color in there, none there, so just a bit more definition. This brush actually works really nicely. It sort of picks up the right amount and you can sort of place it exactly where you want it and then blend it out. I think this is a really cool brush shape. It feels really nice and soft too, so this is rad. That was super easy. So yeah, that pointed tip, you can really get it to where you want to put it and then you just sort of blend it. So I really like this brush. This is a really cool brush. All right, to finish off the cheeks, I do have a bunch in this cool Nabla bag. Look at this, I just hit myself with the fancy little dangly bit. I do have the range of their new highlighters. Like these came out a couple months ago now, but they're very, very pretty. Look at them. So they're the Skin Glazing Glass Skinish Finish Glow Powder. So there are 6 shades. They're super pretty. So like that is a peachy color. It's gorgeous. This is more of a pinky sort of red color. I've used one of them so far. So I've used this one. The one that I've used so far is this sort of champagne color. I think it's a really beautiful color. So they've got a really beautiful range and I want to play with them. Look at these deep shades. Like they're not designed for my skin, but there's this beautiful sort of cranberry color, which is called Adults Only, and this beautiful goldy bronze color that is called Lucent Jungle. So what I might actually do, because I don't have any blushes, is I might use a color like this as a blush and then go in with another color as a highlighter because they're so pretty. All right, I've decided as a blush, I want to mix these 2 shades. So I have that beautiful cranberry shade and this sort of pinky peachy shade, which is called Truth. And I've swatched them both back there. So this would be quite light as a blush for me. That would be too dark. So I'm just sort of going to use this Bonnie Mine brush and I want to just pick up a little bit of each. But these look so beautiful. Just add a little bit of glow. I do love a glowy blush. So yeah, if you don't like shimmery blushes, definitely don't use a highlighter as a blush. But if you do like a shimmery blush, like I do, it's a really easy way to add a bit of glow to your face without having to use 2 products. So you can use this as a highlighter and blush. I will sort of diffuse that out a little bit more with a different brush because it is quite a lot of blush going on, but I think, you know, I think these are really pretty. So I'm going to go back in with the big powder brush and I'm just going to sort of diffuse that down. But yeah, if you really like a good glowy blush, a good way to get one is always to use just a really dark highlighter because they do add a lot of luminosity to the face. So there we go. And that, to me, you could get blush look and then you've got the highlighter. So it's all in one, which is really lovely. But of course I'm not going to stop there because I have more shades to play with. So this is the shade Privilege, which is more of a sort of champagne peachy gold color, which I think would be gorgeous. I have 2 really cool brushes here that I'd use both of them as highlighters. This one is actually a precision powder brush, so it's sort of flat, but it's really thin, so you could definitely set your under eye, which is probably what I should have done before. I would also use this as a highlighter if I wanted to, but they do have a highlighter brush, which is this little cute one. So I might try to use this one and get, I'm Nice, precise application. All right, let's see how this goes. So this definitely gives a very, very precise application. So if you just want to hit certain points, this brush is really good for it. And you can see that gives that sort of peachy glow. It's really pretty. I love a soft sort of peachy highlighter. They're very hard to find really good effective ones, but this one gives that wet look. Just have to put a small amount on. It doesn't have like a base color, so it just gives you that really beautiful wet look. Put a little bit on my nose too. All right, we've gone super glowy on the face, but I think it's really pretty. And I'm gonna do brows now because these are woeful. All right, so I've got this eye brush set, which I was sent in this little Nabla rose gold bag. So I think that if that's a set, I will link it down below. But I'm going in for the angle brush in there, and I've got a brow pomade. So this is the Brow Pot Waterproof Brow Color. Now the shade is Neptune, and I actually think this is a really great shade because it's a medium ash. So it is a cool toned medium, you know, brow color, which I think suits me really, really well. I like cooler toned brows. So I'm going to give this a crack, and then I might tidy it up because I've got like a micro brow pencil as well in the same shade. So I'm going to give that a go. So this is the liner and brows brush. So you can see it's an angled brush, and I've just picked up a little bit of the pomade, and let's give it a crack. I haven't used a pomade. Oh no, that's a lie. I have used a pomade in a while. It's just not a new sort of wet one. I'm so used to using like old dry ones that sort of act like powders. But this is actually a really good color for me. I feel like this brush, even though it's doing a fairly good job, I feel like it's a little bit too long, the bristles, so I don't get that real precise control, but I can, you know, fix that up with the pencil. So again, I like that color. I like how it applied. I am going to fix it up with a pencil. One thing I also like to do to fill in my beauty spots is I'll actually get the back of a brush and I will go into my brow pomade, pick up a little bit, and I'll just go boop. I always find the brow colors like match them really well, so that's what I tend to do. All right, I've got the Brow Divine pencil also in Neptune, and I haven't used this before, so we'll see how it goes. This is quite a firm pencil as well, so it's not super, super pigmented. You sort of just build it up as you go, but I tend to like using these just to define the edge, to sort of mimic a couple of hairs if I need to, and also just to blend this like inner part a bit better. I find it easier to do with a pencil than a pomade. Then I can define the tail if I wanted to. So yeah, just a little bit of neatening done with the brow pencil, and I just find that sort of transition at the start is a lot easier with a firm like micro brow pencil than it is with like a creamy pomade. All right, so I'm going to do the eyes, and this is the hardest part for me because I've got so many palettes to choose from and they're all really cool that it's like, okay, Poison Garden, this is a rad looking palette. There's such cool colors in here. Like, okay, there's some blues and stuff. I love the navy. I love that sort of cool toned shade. I love the red. Oh, that's like an iridescent bluey color. Browns. I'm like, oh, look this. I'm struggling. I've got so many palettes to choose from that this is my daily life. I'm like this cutie palette that I haven't used, this coral one. I've used the nude one a few times, but look at that red. It's gorgeous. Look at this beautiful bronzy color with the brown. I could just do a combo with that. So yeah, I've been like analysis paralysis for the past couple of weeks with these. I've used the nude palette quite a few times. It's a beautiful palette. All right, might actually use this palette here, which is a secret palette. There's a bunch of colors in here and some really beautiful nude shades. So we've got some nice browns, some nice cool tone nudes, which I really love. But then we have this row here that has sort of these, this is like an iridescent greeny color that is a more shimmery teal green. You have a matte teal green, and then you have some warmer shades down the bottom. This is like a duochrome, really, really pretty. So what I might do is I might do a brown basic look with some teal sort of pops. All right, so I'm going to be using the brushes that were in that set, and I'm going to start with this fluffy brush, which is the Precision Soft Crease. And I'm going to go in with, like I said, the secret palette. I might start with this color here. So it picks up really nicely, and it's a very soft but not too powdery eyeshadow, which is nice. This brush is nice, and you can definitely get the precision crease happening there, but it is longer bristles than I'm used to, so it is a little bit flimsier. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just sort of not what I'm used to, but it does give a nice even blend. And that color is really beautiful. On the eye, it actually gives almost like a purpley tone, which I really like. And ignore my skin irritation. I don't know. I think a serum is causing it. It's very annoying. All right, I love that color. I think it's like the most perfect crease color. I could totally just put a wash of color on the lid and be done. It's really nice and defining for my skin tone. All right, I'm gonna grab the Soft Dab and Smudge brush, and I'm gonna get the shade Aesthetic, which is this one here. And I'm just gonna put that all over the lid. So I really do love these cool toned sort of nudie browns. I think they're really, really beautiful. This one has a little bit of fallout, but it's not a big deal. I'm sure that could just wipe away. See, it's a nice soft shimmer, but it gives a nice amount of color on the eye, and it's a really beautiful pairing with that matte. Just gonna brush away a little bit of that fallout. With the Lash Line Smudger brush, I'm going in with Aesthetic again. I was gonna go in with a darker brown, but I do wanna use some of those teal colors, so I'm just going with this sort of lighter brown combo that I've already got on my eyes that I do really like the combo of. And wiping that off, I'm just going in with the shade Rosemary. So I'm going in with this. I might go in with a tiny bit of that as well. All right, just a little bit of that teal shimmery green down the bottom. So I really like the amount of pigment in these because they blend really nicely. They apply without any drama, but they're not so pigmented that you know, too cautious about over applying. You can sort of build up if you want to. I'm going to go in with a little bit of that matte now, just over the top for a little bit of brightness, because the matte is a little bit of a brighter teal. So there's a nice amount of color, but it's really controllable and easy to apply, which is great. This Addiction shade is actually really, really gorgeous. I love these sort of pops of teal with browns. I think they're just really, really flattering, and they're bright, but they sort of shape the eye as well. It's not just bright for the sake of bright. It does actually complement the eyes. All right, I really should have tapped off my brush before applying those, because I do have a bit of fallout, but it just sweeps away really easily, which is nice. To avoid that, just tap off your brush. I didn't do it. All right, so hopefully you can see that this is not as even. I've got some more teal here than I do here, so I'm just going in with that first sort of fluffy brush, and I've got a little bit of that matte, and I'm just going to sort of blend it out a little bit, add a little bit more color in the crease here, just to sort of correct the shape. These work really nicely with sort of firmer brushes, and the mattes work really nicely with these sort of fluffier brushes. It's just easy to apply, which is great. All right, so I have gone quite heavy-handed with the teal, but if you did want to go a little bit more muted with the teal, you just have to put less teal and more of the nude. I think I might go in with this Ghibli shade, or Ghibli. I'm assuming it's like Studio Ghibli, maybe, just for a bit of warmth. So I'm going to put that in the crease because it's looking very cool tone, because all the shades I've used are cool tone. So I'm just going to add a little bit of warmth in the crease there. All right, this original brush is really good at just depositing like the color exactly where you want it in the crease, because of that nice tip. All right, last shade that I want to use is this one here, which I believe is called Play Hard. It looks like, I don't know if you can see, but it's like an iridescent white green sort of color, so it's quite pretty. I'm going to use this brush here. This is the Pointed Crease, just to try to put it in my inner corner really, really softly. So I'm trying to pick up a little bit. I don't want to overdo it, but yeah, we'll just see how we go. So I'm just going to pop a little bit in there just for some dimension, and it just adds a little bit of brightness. It does add a bit of green, but it's not like a garish green. It's just like a nice little sparkle of green. This is a chunkier formula, so you've got to be careful picking it up because it can sort of chunk up a little bit, but it does apply pretty nicely to the eye and gives a nice effect. So if I turn this down a little bit, hopefully you can just see that bit of sparkle on the inner corner. All right, time for liner, and what I have here is a liquid liner. So this is a cereal liner, which I'll use on the top lash line. I also have 3 nudes and 1 black of their pencil liner. So these The Magic Pencil is the nude ones. I'm not sure if you can see that. And the Velvet Line is the black one. So I don't think nude will work on the waterline. I think it'll be too brightening. So I won't use these today, but it does come in light nude, nude, and dark nudes. There's 3 different options. It might actually be not bad with the dark nude, but I might stick to black. So we'll go with the liner, the liquid liner, and the black pencil. All right, this is a cereal liner. So it comes in this sort of like light, it's like a light pinky silver sort of packaging, and it's got a little, I think it's a brush. Yes. All right, so it's a little fine brush applicator, which is fantastic. It's made in Korea. They have some really good brush tip liners, so I'm really keen. Should I swatch it on my hand? Let's just do it really quickly so you can see. Oh, it's very black and very, very pigmented, which is nice. And let's apply it because I'm running out of time. Let's get this on. Super, super thin and precise. Very black, which is really nice. My issue with, oh, I got fluff. My issue with these liners often is that they bleed on my inner corner. So that's going to be the test. But this is super thin, super black and precise, which is fantastic. All right, that's a great liner. Not only was it super easy to apply because it was very, very pigmented, like it only requires 1 layer. It's very precise. Like, look at this. If I do this, you can see how like precise the tip is. It's ridiculous. Also, there's no bleeding on my inner corner just yet. I will report back when I do my sort of conclusion of what I think of Nabla products in another video, but so far it hasn't started to bleed. Some will bleed on application, so they mix with the wetness of my eyes and they just sort of like smear. This hasn't done it. Some do that throughout the day, so I'll have to find out. I think the only thing that some people might not like about this is it is a shinier finish. So some people like the matte finish. This is a shinier finish, but it's a beautiful, beautiful liner so far. I'm really impressed with that liner. All right, time for the pencil liner. So this is the Bombay Black Long Lasting Matte Eye Pencil. So yeah, it's a matte eye pencil, very creamy. Ooh, that's really nice. So I'm going to see how well it works on the waterline and the tight line. So doesn't take much to apply, which is really nice. I'm just going to put a small amount. I don't want it to be a really thick, like a really bold black. I just want to sort of define the lash line a bit and get rid of that sort of flesh color. So I'm just applying this sort of softly. So I've just applied a thin amount, which almost makes it look like it matches that teal quite well. And I'm just going to put some on my tight line as well. But it's nice and creamy. It doesn't take any like building up to build it up, which is great. So nice. So far loving all the eye products. I think they're working really well. One thing I want to now try is this. It's a box. It's called Major Pleasure and it's a mascara. Now, I don't understand why mascaras have names that are quite like sex related. You've got like, you know, Better Than Sex, all that kind of stuff. But this one is Major Pleasure. It has these claims, so 100% dramatic volume, 94% extended lash length, blah, blah, blah. So this must be a pretty popular product because it's got its own like fancy box, which is unusual. And you open it like this. So it's like, ta-da! So I'm hoping this lives up to the packaging hype. I do like a good mascara. So if it can give me Major Pleasure, I'm going to be happy. It almost has a Better Than Sex style wand to it. So let's see. All right, so what I've noticed so far is it definitely does lengthen volume and it doesn't clump. Now, I've had some mascaras that provide a lot more volume, but they can very easily go into clumping territory, whereas this sort of feels like it also separates as it goes. But you can see the lashes here versus there with one coat, so that's quite good. I'm going to put some on the lower lash line just really quickly. And I'm sure if I curled my lashes up here, you'd see it a lot better, but it is a nice effect. And I've got quite a lot of liner on, so for a mascara to sort of be noticeable over that is pretty good. So I think this is actually a pretty good mascara so far. All right, I'm picky with mascaras, but so far I'm liking this one. So it gives a good effect, like I could see my lashes. I did build it up a bit, but it didn't clump, so they still separate the lashes, which is really nice. So I'm digging it so far. I'm going to be using this over the next couple of weeks, and I'll let you know what I think about it when I sort of review all these things and give you a final sort of conclusion of them. But so far, I like. All right, I really like the eyes. I think everything I put on, I dig. I like the effect. I like the browns. I like the cool tone nudes. I like the teals. Really, really pretty, easy to apply. Liner was gorgeous to apply. Mascara, really, really nice. Now onto lips, and I'm gonna say this is the hardest part for me because I've mainly been trying the different lip products and I am obsessed with these, but I also have tried them multiple times. So I'm like, move on to something else, Kat. Let's try the matte ones. Let's try other shades of these lipsticks. But I just wanna say these creamy, dreamy, creamy liquid lipsticks are phenomenal. My two favorites, I think, are Hedonist, which is a beautiful brown tone nude, and this dark red, which is Vicious. They are so gorgeous and comfortable on the lips. I love them. The lipstick that I've been wearing, I think I've worn this at like 3 or 4 days in a row because I love it so much, is lipstick in Backbeat. It's the most beautiful, cool toned nude. Look, let's just swatch some here. It's just, I love it so much. So it's a matte lipstick, but the color is great. I do have other shades, but I don't even want to wear them because I love that one so much. But the shade like Lust looks gorgeous. And then I also have the Dreamy Matte liquid lipsticks as well. So yeah, these look gorgeous as well. The colors look really, really pretty. But I haven't used them yet because I can't go past the Dreamy Creamy ones. They're so lovely. But because I wanted to try something I haven't used before, I'm going to go one of their Dreamy Matte liquid lipsticks. I've chosen this shade here. It reminds me a lot of the lipstick that I've been loving, the Bullet lipstick. So this one here is the shade Zen. I think it looks like a really pretty nude. I think it will match my eye look really well and not compete with it. So that's what it looks like there. It sort of looks like My Lips, but better. These have a nice vanilla-y, almost vanilla-y coconut scent, but the vanilla is more dominant than the coconut, so I do really like it. Oh, it's a My Lips, but better shade. I like this. All right, that's a gorgeous lip. So that will dry down to more of a matte. I love the color. I love these cool tone nudes. Really, really pretty. It matches the eyes. Oh, I'm digging it. All right, so overall, I really like this look. I think everything, like the colors are really nice. The way that everything applied was really nice. The thing that I'm probably most on the fence about at this stage are the base products, so the foundation and the concealer. I still need to see how they work with my sort of oily skin on long wearing days and that kind of stuff, and see exactly how I feel about it. But everything else, like the highlighter's beautiful. The lip products have blown me away. I've been using their lip products so much, and I really, really love them. Eyeshadows are gorgeous. It's just about like which color story you like the most. The eyeliner, super impressive. The liquid one, I was like, wow. But, I'm going to have to keep testing it and see how it wears. Love the brow products, love the mascara. Everything is looking really good. I'm really impressed. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Full face using Nabla minus bronzer. And yeah, in a couple of weeks when I sort of wrap my head around all these other products, because you saw that I've got a lot to play with and test, I will do a sort of recap video of the range and what I think about the range. But yeah, it might take longer than I expected because I've got one face. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.